How you doing, everybody? My name's Carpo, and this video is about CBD. I've made a few of these lately, but this particular subject's been on the top of my mind, and when a subject's on the top of my mind, I tend to talk about it a lot. And the reason why CBD has been, well, I was growing a strain of high CBD cannabis that had no THC in it a while back, and I've basically been hanging on to it to figure out what to do. Sometimes I'll make food out of it, but I wanted the full experience of having a CBD extract, so I had my friend make some extract, which I showed the other day. And so for the last couple of days I've been experimenting with just smoking CBD, and then smoking CBD with a high THC strain as well. So it's been difficult to really gauge the experience, so I don't want to just come on and say, yeah, CBD does this and does that. I am suspicious about CBD myself, and I'll explain what I mean. I've been smoking cannabis since, the early 90s, and I remember, there was a big move for legalization during that whole time, and people kept trying to get it legalized, and we all wanted it legal. But at the time, we didn't really know much about CBD. We just knew that you smoke cannabis and you get high, and it had many cannabinoids in it. And there was a lot of misinformation and a lot of personal subjective experience that people used as evidence. So we just kind of had to wait until science was able to, they were able to do clinical trials and whatnot. So here we are in the day where they're able to finally do research with cannabis. And I watched as the medical industry slowly said, hey, THC is good for this, CBD is good for this, and we all said, hey, take it off the Schedule 1 list. It deserves to be legal. So I always knew that it was medicine, but there was a part of me that suspected that the CBD part was blown out of proportion a little bit. That maybe CBD did have some benefits, but maybe it was just misunderstood, and maybe it wasn't as great as we thought. Maybe it's just being used as another, here, check out this medicine. I'm coming to the conclusion now, after careful research over the years, that CBD is something special. And most of the studies that I've seen have shown that it does trigger cancer cells to kill themselves. There's a particular way it does this. It does seem to regulate how THC is absorbed, or used by our cells, rather. I can't remember the specifics about how this works, but all of the experiences of saying, oh, it makes you getting the stone is mellower, the experience is mellower, that's all subjective, so you can't gauge that. So I just wanted to share one study that I just did read, and it said that, because I woke up this morning with a headache, and so my first thought was, if I dab some Harley Sue extract, will that take my headache away? And so I got on and I started doing some research online, and found out that people have been taking it for cluster headaches. Sorry, not cluster headaches, migraine headaches. Cluster headaches, people take psilocybin mushrooms for cluster headaches, and if they take it on a regular basis, they don't have any. Well, people claim that they take CBD for migraines, and I was a little bit skeptical, so I looked a little deeper, and there is a report that was done. They said that they believe, now recent studies have shown that lead them to believe that fibromyalgia, as well as things like irritable bowel syndrome, as well as migraines, are all caused by a lacking in the endocannabinoid system. So, whereas morphine is similar to what you have with your endorphins or your natural morphine in your body, and that's why morphine works, it stimulates that, THC stimulates your endocannabinoids, or anandamide, I believe they call it, is the actual THC of your body. So THC mimics this, whereas CBD doesn't mimic it. It doesn't have an affinity for either of the receptors. It just seems to kind of tickle them and affect them in some way. What we're doing is we're playing with body psychology. We're playing with body chemistry, and there is a psychology involved. The mental aspect. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your body to react in a way that's positive, and ease an ailment that may be caused by a lack of a particular compound or chemical in your body, without causing the side effects of drowsiness or forgetfulness or sleeping too much or staying awake too long. Some people need a stimulant, but they don't want to stay awake for 24 hours. Some people need to relax, but they don't want to be doped up. finding this balance is what we're after, and that's what CBD seems to do. It really seems to have a balancing effect on the body. And I know a guy who took it for ADD. I've talked to people who take it for depression, people who take it for anxiety, people who take it for pain, people take it orally, topically, sublingually, smoking. And they swear that it works, yet I'm still been skeptical. Only because I understand how the brain works and how placebo effect works. Not to say that CBD is at all placebo, because they've seen how it works, in the lab, but that some of the effects, you have to be wary about them. So I'm cautious to make any claims, but I would say that this is important for some people who have migraine headaches, because there's a lot of them out there, that CBD may help with this. And the final thing I wanted to talk about with CBD was the fact that I just had to look it up to make sure that yes, CBD is still a Schedule 1 substance, which means the highest classification of being illegal by the federal government. It is still considered to have no medical use whatsoever and be dangerous to the public, and that's pretty much the conditions for that. And you may want to know that CBD is more illegal than methamphetamine. So ponder that in your noggin for a bit. We're hoping to change these things over time. And I say shame on Obama, who claimed that he was going to, we were hoping he would attempt to legalize or at least get the federal government away from the states, but he actually made it worse. And, we're all sick of the federal government sticking their nose in our business, because cannabis is not a harmful thing. But if you eliminate the THC completely, what is your excuse for keeping it illegal? I mean, this is important stuff that people need to have access to. Too many parents have sick children who have seizures, I didn't even mention any of the other benefits of CBD and THC combined for seizures. Seems to be an all-containing plant that has many different medicines if you can find which compound works for you. So, those are my words, and hope you all have a good day and be safe.